Hello, and welcome to Bubble Hearthing. I'm ShadowBlue13, and this is going to be my review of the Warrior class cards for the Boomsday project, the new set for Hearthstone that is coming out very soon, on August 7th. So, we will begin with the 1 mana, 1/3 Eternium Rover. It is a mech, and whenever this minion takes damage, gain 2 armor. That's a really nice card. It can stick around a little bit if you're playing a mech deck, maybe magnetize something. It's statted to stick around. It's a mech, but even if you're not running mechs, it's just a great early game card for Warrior. I don't think it's going to replace your Armor Smith, but it's definitely a very nice addition. And I think it's an awesome card. Definitely going to see its play in many, if any Warrior decks are top tier, it's going to be in there. Any Warrior decks at all, they're probably going to run this card. They will run this card. There you go. Except maybe Recruit Warrior. Okay, fine. But other than that, fantastic. 2 mana, Rocket Boots. Give a minion rush, draw a card. So the parallel I draw with this is Commanding Shout, which sees no play at the moment. The only time I actually saw play, as far as I'm aware, was with heavy combo decks that involved, oh geez, I forget the card. The one that gave all your dudes rush, and the one that gave all your dudes charge, and was just super crazy. Stormpike Commander? I'm getting it wrong. But the crazy one that had to be nerfed into oblivion. And that would draw a card. I think that effect is actually better than this one. The effect of Commanding Shout, let me be specific, is better than this. And Commanding Shout sees no play. Therefore, I believe Rocket Boots will see exactly 0 play. Alright, next we have the 2 mana Weapons Project. Each player equips a 2/3 weapon and gains 6 armor. This is a very nice card. Of course, it's Project, so it has the symmetric effect where you both have the the effect go off for you. You can notably play this with Harrison if you play it maybe later on, not necessarily turn 2, and draw some cards with it. Very nice there. You keep your weapon. Definitely a great combo. Beyond that, this could just be used as a replacement for Ooze, because it's going to destroy any weapon that your opponent has and override it with this 2/3 weapon. If weapons are a big thing, I mean, Skull of the Minari, we don't see a whole lot of Q blocks as far as I'm aware. But if Twig, Malgos, Druid takes off, then this will be there to try to keep it in check. And then Floop, or yeah, Phlebinus Floop? Yeah, he's going to come by and say, hey, I'm still here and I'm going to win anyway. But this is great, and it's also great if you're a control warrior and you're playing like against an aggressive deck. They're probably going to take the weapon and hit you in the face, and you're probably not going to have a whole lot of early minions. And you're just going to kill their minions, and they're going to waste their weapon going face. Awesome card. Next we have the 1 mana Omega Assembly. Discover a mech. If you have 10 mana crystals, keep all 3 cards. Oh my goodness, 1 mana, get 3 cards? Fantastic. They're random, sure, but 1 out of 3 is probably going to be decent, right? I mean, when have you ever discovered? Sure, it happens. But it's very rare that you play a Discover effect and all 3 cards are absolute garbage. Would you play this on 1 mana? Probably not. Not unless you were in some kind of dire straits, if you needed to get that mech to magnetize to something to push for the win, or if you needed to get some kind of mech to taunt, or just to save you. So, unless you're really, really desperate, and it's going to be like, discover the right mech or you lose, you're going to play this on 10 mana, get the 3 bonus cards, or 2 bonus cards I'll say, and you're going to have a good time. The Dinomatic, a 5 mana 3/4 mech Battlecry, deal 5 damage randomly split among all of the minions except mechs. Well, I don't like this card at all. I mean, sure it's a mech, okay, but the stats are bad. Okay, it's only 5 damage randomly split among the minions. Well, that's nice, except for there's a lot of mechs in this set. Maybe not every class, I don't think Warlock has a mech, but there's a lot of neutral mechs. There's a lot of things. Maybe I could see this as a counter to Zulok, because I just mentioned that Warlock doesn't really have a mech they can go to. But, oh boy. I don't like this card, because other classes are going to be running mechs and you're not going to be able to hit them. Sure, you can kind of single out their non-mech creatures, and likely you're going to be running all mechs, or you're not going to be hitting your own dudes with this thing. I mean, you could try to run this with Acolyte of Pain to trigger it extra times, but I don't think that's really worth it. I don't like this card. Next we have the Security Rover, and the order in which this comes in makes you think, oh, play these 2 and it works. It doesn't. 6 mana, 2/5. Wow, those stats are absolute garbage. It is terrible. for the cost. Wow. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/3 mech with taunt. And there it is, little guard bot. Oh, look at that. He's kind of cute. So, what do we think about this thing? Well, Hogger, the Doom of Elwyn, didn't seem to see any play. And it had a very similar kind of thing. It would summon the little taunt dudes, and it had better stats. It would cost more mana, but it was much a better card. And this thing, and that sees no play, so therefore this thing, you would have to give this thing taunt in order for it to really take damage. It would use a lot of whirlwind effects. And if you're giving this thing taunt, and then you're spawning taunts, then there's no point of it having taunt in the first place, really. Oh god, no. I don't like it. Oh boy, talking about things I don't like. 5 mana Super Collider. If you want a weapons project something, do this, just to get rid of it, because it's garbage. 5 mana 1/3. 1 attack, 3 durability. After you attack a minion, force it to attack one of his neighbors. Oh boy, I hope you have a lot of armor, because in the best case scenario, you attack a little poisonous dude into a big guy. In the usual scenario, you attack a big guy into a big guy. Sure, you killed 2 big guys, but you took, on average, let's say 7, maybe 8 damage to do so. I don't see that as being so useful. Why don't you just do some kind of execute, or if you have all that armor you can spare for health, why don't you just do a shield slam? I think that is a much better option, or brawl if they have a lot of dudes on the board. And sometimes they're not even going to be able to do that. If it's not one of the minions on the very end, then you cannot control, it's going to be 50-50 shot which minion it runs into from the Super Collider effect. And because you can't, reliably say that, people are going to be, I know Twitch is going to be like, oh, you should have played around Super Collider, oh, this is horrible positioning for Super Collider, and one day it's going to happen, and one day I'm going to cry when it happens. But until then, this card is bad. And even when that happens, you know what, it's still bad. 7 mana, Beryllium Nullifier is a 3/8 mech with magnetic, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. A lot of people love this card, and they talk about, oh, take this and throw it on whatever mech, insert mech here, and it's so much better. It doesn't have taunt. It doesn't give taunt. There are plenty of mechs that do have taunt. Notably, what do you have here? Bronze Gatekeeper, that's a good one. Ziliax is a great one. Giggling Inventor, we'll get to that in a little while. That spawns mechs that have taunt. So, okay, I could see that, and then this is certainly getting in the way. However, you need those 2 cards to do it. I mean, I could see it as just buffing someone's stats +3, +8, and making it super obnoxious to get off the board. But I don't think it lives up to all the hype. It's still going to see some play, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be like super 5, 6 stars, 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5, tier 1, OMG, crazy good. I think, if I had to guess, I would put it right in the middle, like 3 out of 5. This is the only card I've here to be rating, unless you count the Solarium, which is like 11 out of 5. 5 million out of 5. Beautiful card. So yeah, that's what I think of this thing. Obviously, if you get this thing with Ziliax, you're gonna have a good time there. It's pretty cool, but otherwise, not so much. And remember, it can still be targeted by creature abilities, so don't forget that part. All right, we're up to Dr. Boom, the mad genius himself. One of the namesakes for the set. So 7 mana hero card. Gives you 7 armor as opposed to 5, which is nice, going back to the good old GVG. 7 mana, 7/7 Dr. Boom. Battle Cry, for the rest of the game, your mechs have rush. Well, that's a nice little effect, and you gain a decent amount of armor. So, cool. But what else does he do? Oh. Well, here's the hero powers you can get. Let me go ahead and, boop, make that a little bit bigger. So, I'm not sure about this whole big red button. Do you have to do this first to be able to get one of these? Maybe you have to trigger this, I don't know. Maybe it's just thematic, but you get 5 different hero powers that'll randomly swap between each other at the end of your turn. Or is it the beginning of your turn? I don't know, but it swaps each turn. Let's say that much. You either summon 3 1/1 microbots, just little 1/1 mechs, and of course they have rush, which is not bad. It's basically deal 3 damage to a minion, or 3 spread out damage. Cool. You can get the Zap Cannon, deal 3 damage, straight out deal 3. Can go face if your minion, if that's really the best target. Otherwise, you can deal 3 damage to a minion. Super nice there. I mean, plenty of shadow form priests would just die to have this thing just pop out almost, somewhat reliably. Let's go talk about a few other things, because there's another one. There's Kaboom. I'm skipping over Blast Shield for a moment. Deal 1 damage to all enemies, including your opponent's face. Also a nice one, you would just play, any of these you would just use. There's nothing that you specifically do not want to use that turn. Let's see, and delivery drone, discover a mech. Naturally, of course, it has rush because you're still Dr. Boom Mad Genius. So, that's awesome. You can get a bigger dude. I mean, I think this one, along with the Zap Cannon, are probably, well, actually, I think the Blast Shield's really strong too. Let's just talk about the Blast Shield. Gain 7 armor. 7 armor is a lot of armor. I remember when I first saw Justicar Trueheart, I was like, well, he gains 4 armor each turn. That's not a big deal, though. Oh, crap. That is a huge deal. 4 armor scales up very, very quickly. So I think this is a very good card. And it's going to be super fun. Sometimes you're just going to get a couple things and only play a few things when you really need the other ones. But still, I think that this is very nice. It's going to be in nearly every warrior deck. Let's watch. And lastly, we have the Boom Ship. Summon 3 random minions from your hand. Give them rush. They don't have to be mechs. They can be any minions. So I think this is going to be in specifically a big kind of recruit warrior deck. Running, you know, the Lich King and running other things that are like the Lich King. No, running the Lich King, you wouldn't run Malagos. Maybe Geosculptor Yip. That's great just to cheat that out there. You could have Hoarding Dragon if you want to. They don't have to have huge attack values. You're just getting 3 creatures out there for 9 mana, which would definitely be run in a big warrior. Now, is big warrior good? I think it could be good. I think since you would, you know, have Dr. Boom as the extra things, because you don't really want to run Scourge Lord Garrosh too much in big warrior. It doesn't really do too much for you. You end up taking a lot of damage. But if you get this guy along with it, I think it could see some play. Definitely. We're going to end on a somewhat good note. Hey, but you know what? We're still going to go back to Dr. Boom, because this is his set after all. So thank you, Dr. Boom, for giving us such interesting cards, I'll say. They're not all fantastic, but there's some keepers in there. And this has been the review of the warrior class cards. Last up, we just have the neutral cards, which, oh boy, there's a good number of them, but I'll get through it, I swear. Alright, thank you very much for watching. And of course, good night or good morning, depending on where you are. And as always, good luck.